Hello, and thank you for joining the CT Wholesale webinar. I'm just going to go through a few points on our hosted phone system today, talk a little bit about Sykpe, and then also run through our new control panel for managing your phone system accounts with your customers. So firstly, start with a little bit of an introduction through to CT Wholesale. I'm just going to leave this page up for 30 seconds just to make sure everybody can connect on the audio okay, just in case anybody can't hear me. So I'll just leave it on that slide for 20 seconds. Okay, so firstly just talk a little bit about CT Wholesale. Who is CT Wholesale and what services we provide? CT Group was established in 2002. We've got a direct focus on large enterprise, like many of the T1 carriers such as BT, TalkTalk and Virgin. But we've got a wholesale focus on servicing IT and telecom resellers for cloud, telecoms and internet connectivity. We provide solutions and service as well as those three key elements, and the hosted phone system that you're going to look at today really is part of the cloud and telecoms all in one, as part of our cloud telecoms and connectivity offerings. The reason why we can be so competitive is that we are directly connected with all the tier 1 carriers, and we've got an experienced managed service team within the group, so we're experienced in helping managed IT companies and telecoms resellers in providing those services. And also we've built in a lot of automation into our portals of what you're about to see through today in terms of being able to provision and activate those services on the fly via the portal. We've also got a copy here of our network map. We're currently connected in 7 different data centres across the UK, and that gives us resilience against different data centre companies and also against different geographical locations. There's 2 ways of signing up as a CT Wholesale partner. One is if you just want to receive the commission and we bill the customer direct, or what's more common is the reseller manages all their own billing, we bill the reseller, and then you bill your end user. And you still get all the third line support directly from us as well. We've also got a partner portal, and in that partner portal you can manage all the different services such as cloud, web hosting, domain names, telecoms, billing and all those different aspects. So the reason why hosted telephony is such a hot topic at the moment is because there's a lot of phone systems which are in place that back onto other older technologies such as ISDN. And as internet speeds are increasing, as people are more willing to move over to services such as VoIP and SIP, then the phone system comes into question. You know, do you really need to spend thousands of pounds on a box on the wall and handsets to connect to the phone system? You know, can you just have more of a cloud-based system? And the advantages of the cloud-based system are fast install, low cost up front, so you've not got that large hardware expenditure. It's a true up and true down service, so if you want 5 users this month, 4 users the following month, 6 users the next month, you can do so. And we've also got resilience, so unlike having hardware on site which could fail, you've got the resilience of your phone system on a resilient IP network. So we've got a copy of this slide which you might want to move on to your end users to help them understand the benefits of moving onto a hosted cloud phone system. I'm not going to go through these, but these are just some key points that you could talk to your customers about. The phone system that we're going to demonstrate today is also fully compatible with Skype for Business, or Microsoft Lync as it was formerly known, and you can connect that to it and use it for presence with the phone system as well. So are all SIP trunks the same? Whilst all SIP trunks are technically the same, all SIP providers aren't the same. So when you use our hosted phone system, you're using our SIP trunk service. And we are, as I said previously, directly connected with the Tier 1 carriers, so predominantly using CT Wholesale for providing the SIP service. We've got our own session border controllers, which are in different geographical locations for resilience. We've got economies of scale in terms of being able to scale the voice and calls per second. And we've also got a very good support team for providing the softer side. In terms of the session border controllers, we also offer a automated fraud check every 15 minutes, which is done on your behalf and on your end user's behalf, just to make sure there's no fraud calls going through. And you can also get that information live through the portal. So I'm just going to do a hosted phone system demonstration now. So I'm going to go through our control panel and how those phones are set up. So here we've got the control panel which we see as the service provider. So as you can see, we've got a number of service providers listed here. So if you think of the portal a bit like a pyramid, essentially it's just a hierarchy of logins, and you can always impersonate each different company all the way down. So for example, I can log in as if I was Windows IT, this reseller here, and then a customer of yours could log into that portal and they would just see everything branded as Windows IT. And also an end user can log in, so then that end user can see everything branded as if they were working for that company. So let me just demonstrate that. So we've got this service, so I've got a list of service providers on this demo box that we've got here. So I'm going to go into this IT reseller called Windows IT. So I'll go into Windows IT, and within Windows IT I can see all the options that reseller is able to use. So that reseller's got a customer here called PowerShell Fuel. And if I click on Impersonate, then I also get to see how that control panel looks for Windows IT. So within here I'm going to go into PowerShell Fuel, and here this reseller can create and manage a number of different settings all within PowerShell Fuel, the company within Windows IT. If I click Impersonate again, I can then see how that portal looks for PowerShell IT. So this is what I would, for PowerShell Fuel, sorry. So this is what I would see if I was the PowerShell Fuel administrator. So return back, and now return back to Windows IT. So now I'm viewing the account as a reseller. And there's just the reseller details in here. So if I go into PowerShell Fuel again, you can see here that you can manage everything to do with the phone system. So I can do things like call screening, time intervals, music on hold, roles, user templates, add users, add devices over here as well. So I'm going to go into a user. I've got this user Chris, and within the user I can manage all sorts of things, see the call recordings, access the mailbox, change the outgoing call rules. What I can also see is any devices attached, or extensions as it's listed here, attached to that particular user. So I can go into this here and I can click Edit Extension, and I can drill right down to the detail of that particular terminal. I can also go into the setup of that, and I can change all the technical details to do with that device. So for example, I can enable voicemail, I can decide on a password for that voicemail, if it sends an email alert for the voicemail. All those different options are available through the phone system. So if I go into Windows IT again, I'm just going to go into PowerShell Fuel, and I'm going to add a user. And here you can use templates. So if you want your end users to have templates for creating extensions, then they can do so. So you can set up, for example, service desk template or a sales team template, and that allows them to automatically just select that user, and it will fill in all the details automatically that they would need. You can also manage SIP devices. So these are the devices that you see within the user. So I can add a new device, and in here you can just choose the make and model of your phone, and it will automatically add that device to the network and configure it, providing you've got the MAC address. And the same thing that you can do with users, you can do with devices as well. You can set up device templates. So if you know that you're going to ship a certain model phone, you can either pre-configure it or just set up a template so that when the phone arrives, the end user can just add the MAC address in and do that. So I'm just going to log back in here. Yep. So as you can see, you can manage everything to do with a phone system. So that will include everything to do with queues, users, devices, user permissions if you want to set different permission levels for different people, and also to set up new customers. So if you want to add a new account here and then set up the phones for that, you can do so, and it automatically provisions it. And what happens here is, commonly within this phone system model, is the IT reseller will be paying X pounds per month per handset, which includes the SIP channel and the extension. So you can just add companies and add extensions to this, and we will just bill you for the number of handsets that you're using. So you don't have to contact any service team or sales team in order to provision a new company or set up a new user or a new handset within a user. It's all done through the control panel, all automated through here. Once you take up the service, we're also going to run through the control panel with you in more detail, help you get it set up and established. And also there's a help system as well, so you can go through, and if you've got any questions or query about particular technical aspects of the system, so for example call screening, you might want to know how that works, and the help system will be able to guide you through that as well, or you can speak to our support team who can help with it. So I'm just going to go back to the presentation for a short while now. I've got a few questions that have come up on here. So the first one is, how long would it take to get this set up? Well, initially what we do is we set you up with an account so you can access the phone system, and so you can set up companies and users and extensions. To set all that up initially takes 2 to 3 days. Once that's complete, you can then just use that control panel fully yourself. So as you get a new customer on board who wants, say, 5 phones, you can just configure it and set it up all yourself. Another question is, what sort of training would I or the end user get? We offer a full either on-site or webinar training with yourself, and we can go through all that. We take the approach of train the trainer, so we'll train you on all the system, make sure you're familiar with it, and then if you want to then bill your end user for additional training or time on site to go through the phone system, then you can do that as well. Someone's question what SIP1 is in the top left. So this is just it's a default brand that we're using for the SIP service. So as you can see from this login here, there's absolutely no absolutely no branding from a CT Wholesale perspective, so you can fully white label the service to your end users. All the things like copyright and rights reserved and things like that can all be removed and white labeled. One last question is, can the end user use their Microsoft 365 Skype for Business login, or do they need a new account? No, if you want to pair a device or a user with Skype for Business, Microsoft Lync, then you can do so through this. You don't need to set up a new account. You can use your existing one. If you do have any further questions, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with our account management team. You can give us a call on the number there or through our website. And I hope you enjoyed the webinar, and will attend some of our webinars in the future. Thank you very much. Goodbye.